Hello, Internet folks. Yeah, it's me again, Weaver John C. I was doing a little soul searching, trying to find answers, and so far I still can't find any. The answers I'm looking for at this point is regarding if this one man seems to be the Messiah. Is he? Is he actually the Messiah? I tried to understand in the previous video regarding the world of Donald J. Trump and the cultists. Make America Great, the MAGA. Or as I call them, the maggots. Maggots coming from a fly. I know it's an insult. Pisses people off left and right. They want to feel patriotic. I understand the patriotism. But there's a thing about patriotism about a country and its ideals, and then there's patriotism about one lunatic and his fanatical ideas. And it seems like, and if I happen to dare mention this damn thing, somebody's going to be reporting me. But I'll say it anyway, see if the damn thing will get pulled or anything. Are we replaying back in the 1930s all over again? People have forgotten what reading and understanding history is all about, or even learning from our dwindling supply of historians. The aged who've survived in that year, in those times, to actually hear their wisdom telling us that we can't forget what the hell happened, and yet we are. We're acting as if we're replaying history all over again. The old adage is becoming reality. History repeats itself. I don't care where the hell the damn thing's coming. That adage is there right now. It's mesmerizing, terrifying, and horrible at the same time. I'm seeing people with shirts and caps and body vests and camouflage and artillery. Amidst the COVID virus pandemic we've got here, no one wears a mask and no one cares if their health is going to get endangered. But they're not even worrying about what happens to the other people who are having their issues right now as it is. And they basically don't get it and don't want to get it because they feel their own basic civil liberties, their own freedom is in jeopardy, and therefore they're going to do whatever is necessary to drive other people crazy. And they're doing an excellent job at that right now. So while I'm talking to you about this one, I'm still trying to work on the last video, and I probably will have to wait for a couple of while still downloads. It's going to take a while on that. But in the meantime, let me still continue with the ranting and raving at this point over here of a complete lunatic. Because I had seen a lot of rallies in my time. 54 years old. For some people, I'm still a young kid. Other people, I'm old. So I'm in middle age at this point. The political rallies I've seen always showed differences of parties, but they still treated each other like decent human beings. All the way up until this new millennium, where things had gotten uglier. Personal attacks made more and more. People starting to go after each other more and more. And then the sea of red came. caps, the shirts, the slogans. For some people, it may be like the same usual thing they're going through for political parties, but they're not seeing it. Maybe it is an instinct, a memory, a feeling, telling us that what's going on is wrong. Especially when violence is breaking out all over the place and certain people are getting blamed for it, but not the ones with the red. Or with the red tendencies. Then I keep hearing about the communist situation and the Red Scare. Well, excuse me, but I'm seeing red and there's a scare, so hello, do the math. People are worried about the term communism, but they never read Karl Marx or even understood his principles. I'm not a big fan of communism in the first place. I still like capitalism, but the thing is, you still got to pay our fair share of taxes so we can get services out of it, such as fire protection, police protection, utility services, infrastructure built, highways. And then if you want your pleasure, you have to pay for them as well. You have to have work. And if you work, it means you're getting some kind of income. And for a lot of people, it's not substantial enough where they're actually surviving. And they have to go to food banks to get additional food. I know, I've been there. Been there, done that. It's not fun. Embarrassing as hell. And people worry about, well, actually complain and bitterly go crazy over people going in GR lines. I'd seen that happen. Been through that one. I hadn't seen too many fights when it comes down for food giveaways, because those who are going through the giveaways are just as regular as you and me. Except if I happen to see the MANGAs going on through there. And then what I see is trouble. And how would you identify one? Let's see, attitude, talk, attire. Is it normal to wear body armor in public? Is it normal to carry a gun in public? Is it normal to pick on people who are different? The racial tensions between different country or origins, between skin colors, between ideals, they're getting more and more polarized. They're getting more and more polarized to a point where we're having people trying to kill each other because one side's got to be better than the other one. And if you don't like it, you've got to leave. Well, if the other person's trying to leave and you're not letting them, what's the point? You're just making the point that you're all an asshole. You know? You're just pure asshole. And I'm not taking anything back at this point over here. There is nothing to be taken back. I'm observing all this damn shit. And yes, I do have an opinion about this. Me being a libtard. Oh, all of that terminology right there. Liberally retarded. Otherwise called libtard. I'm retarded. According to a lot of people. Because I don't think their way, I don't talk their way, I don't act their way. And because I am not of them, I'm a retard. I have a mental illness with these people. Well, to be honest, I do suffer from mental health illnesses. I haven't got any psychosis, but I got manic depression. That works. I got grief, depression, anxiety. Does that work? I've got it to the point where I can't sleep at night, and I get tense and nervous around some people, especially if they're trying to be the Trump heads, and they think they own the world, and their opinion has to be mattered the most. Keyboard warriors on social media, but it's out there. You walk among the streets, and you're wearing something that triggers them. And if your skin color or your language is different than theirs, you got a problem. If you're not completely white, you're an open season. If you're not of European descent, you're open season. Of course you could be European descent. Problem is, which part of it? Even then, if you're showing that you're from Europe in one portion or another, you're also labeled. Yeah, I hear it. I see it. And it's scary as hell. You could have a mixed race family in your open season. You have a mixed religion, your open season. If you celebrate anything else but quote unquote Christianity, your open season. How the hell did we ever get in this situation in the first place? It's like a wound or an infection just spread out throughout the body, or the skin showing up as lesions all over the damn place. Cancerous growths all over the place, and it's supposed to be normal? You have the country showing this like crazy. Meetings after meetings after meetings of a certain lunatic who's trying to stay in office one way or another by having supporters say and do things that normally they wouldn't have. Except maybe I keep wondering, had they have done it? And that's the other thing. Is the other portion of the equation I'm still trying to figure out. Now, in order to be this Trump follower, you had to have a hell of a lot of anger suppressed. You had to have prejudice suppressed. You had to have racial tension suppressed. Certain lack of intelligence somewhere. Yeah, I imagine that there's going to be college professors in there who have their own versions, have their own ideas. Are they motivated by greed, or are they motivated by their own ambitions of power and of ego? I can't say the Democrats are the same way. There have been a few Democrats in my past, I remembered. But they tried to be of service. There used to be a few Republicans out there who tried to be of service and knew how to get along with their companions and their counterparts. They tried to be as eloquent and statesman in Congress. Some of those have died, and those were insulted by a particular group, particular cult leader, the one who wears the red, one who hands those damn things out like they're candy. And I'm seeing all this happening in my lifetime. You see, I'm afraid if I happen to go into a damn underground bunker and come out decades later without even being a participant in history at this point over here, I'm going to see my lack of participation is probably make things a hell of a lot worse. So I have to participate. An observer is supposed to be non-participating. He's supposed to be unbiased. Fortunately, I am biased. I am biased. I've been thinking of social programs like crazy and have interacted with social programs that allowed me and my family to survive. Knowing that taxes are paid into a system that we could use. Knowing it was our taxes that we did it. But now, is our country really trying to revolt? Is it trying to unravel? Do we no longer understand pluralism or differences at all? Do we no longer accept anybody and everybody? Are we supposed to be one and the same? Can you not call yourself the Great American Stew by just having one ingredient? Having these kind of thoughts, I don't think other people will appreciate or understand because they want conformity, unity, fanaticism, authority. One particular symbol that was supposed to have been religious in one particular culture transformed into the most hated and divided and disgusting symbol back in the 1930s. Now we've got a different symbol with a slogan. Red with MAGA written on it. I'm wondering if we're going to start saluting the damn cult leader like Benito Mussolini was, or another character with a short mustache, Austrian-born, who hated Jews with a passion. And I don't even like to use his damn name. It's becoming as much hated to me as Donald J. Trump, and the character I'm referring to. And it makes my stomach sick, even if I happen to mention the damn evil name. But it's still a still nasty comparison. Adolf Hitler. The National Socialist. Nazi Party, actually. I'm waiting for the major atrocities to kick in. I'm waiting for the Congress to fall. I'm waiting for Auschwitz to be revisited. I am waiting for America to fall at this point. Because if we cannot come together and try to acknowledge we've got differences, that we have no beef against each other except in maybe political differences. Just try to acknowledge that we're totally different, but we don't have to be divided. We're supposed to be sharing a commonality. We're supposed to be sharing common traits. We're supposed to be sharing a supposed dream. But unfortunately, It's turning out to be a nightmare. That's what's happening. Make America's nightmare great again. MANGA. I'm going to get nailed by those who've actually coined and copyrighted that term. I probably will. How to denigrate a comic cartoon style that added pleasure, but taking that terminology and using it for evil and ugliness. I want to apologize to the Japanese cartoonists. I would apologize to those who love the comic industry of where this word came from. Because I am seeing my definition of MAGA coming to pass. And it scares the living fuck out of me. So once more, my apologies to those who love the manga comics. I got a feeling your particular terminology is going to get massacred one way or another by actions of others who may use that terminology and twist it around for evil. God help us all.